Hi and welcome to module 2. Let's just have a look to see if it's actually streaming. I'm just checking that it's gone live and then I'll be able to share it. So just bear with me a little while. Hopefully we can get the link for this to share it. It looks like it's live, which is good. Let me just go to the studio. And thank you for joining. My name is Adam Ahmed. This is module 3 of Avoidance Coaching and Mentoring Program. I've already shared the previous 2 live videos. So on Saturday, basically, if I can find this, give me 1 second. I just want to share this within the actual WhatsApp groups. Get shareable link. Here we go. I can send that out now. Lovely, and just send it onto the Facebook as well. Here we go. Right, excellent. Hi, my name is Adam Ahmed. This is module 3, leaning into action of the Avoidance Coaching and Mentoring Program. You can find out more information by going to the website at adamahmed.co.uk, and when you go onto the website, you'll see, and I'll, depending on when you watch this video, if you're watching it right now, it's got the avoidance program listed at the top if you're on your mobile or on the computer. But on the blog, you'll find it under the avoidance program. And today we're talking about module 3, lean into action. So this program is part of a 4-week coaching and mentoring program that I deliver in person in Nottingham. Small group. I always like doing things in small groups. It's always useful to do that in small groups. I'm just trying to get back on to the actual live so I can see if there's any messages coming through. Here we go. Excellent. I can see any messages coming through. So as I said, I deliver this in person to a small group on Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. I find small group work is quite impactful because it's not just about the information, it's not just about the exercises, it's what each person brings when we're actually going through the stuff. But hopefully you'll find some benefit from this. And I'll quickly go through the content of what we actually covered. And since this time I actually audio recorded the presentation, you'll be able to find all the information on the website as well. So in module 1 we explored what avoidance, the definition of avoidance, and how it shows up in our daily lives. In module 2 we looked at the cost of avoidance in the short term and the long term, and how it impacts us every time we avoid doing what we need to do. And in module 3 we're actually reaching a turning point. We're going from avoidance into action. So this module is all about breaking the cycle of hesitation and procrastination, learning how to take small decisive steps, and understanding why boring consistency is more transformative than dramatic bursts of effort. We're also having a look at building habits of approach rather than avoidance. So the first 2 modules were about awareness and motivation. This one's about movement. As I mentioned, normally these presentations go over the same material that I covered in the workshop, but this time I actually recorded it. So I'm going to show you where you can actually find the information rather than going through everything again. We talked about why action feels hard, referring to the action motivation cycle, where a lot of people wait for motivation before they take action, or some even might be waiting to get inspired. Whereas if you start with action, then what you can find is that you can find motivation and inspiration just by beginning right now where you are right as it is. So don't wait for motivation, let action create it. During the workshop we then followed it up with talking about a research project, the mundanity of excellence. Excellence is not about secret hacks. There's no special ways of doing anything, genius level talent or sudden breakthroughs. It's about repeating ordinary stuff again and again. Most of it is boring. It's just showing up, going through the basics each time, and then sooner or later you have a breakthrough. Now, we talked about the difference between consistency versus intensity. A lot of people start off with a lot of energy, on fire, and then they find themselves week 2 and week 3 burning out, and then before they know it, week 4, week 5, they've totally lost all momentum and lost all focus. Whereas if you start off with consistency, maintain a good level of energy, then you can continue with that week after week, showing up all the time. We discussed the avoidance cycle. When a person thinks about a task and it brings up stress, that leads to a certain amount of discomfort, and then what they do is they choose avoidance, which brings relief, but then that's followed up with guilt, making the initial task even bigger to break. And we then talked about the action cycle, where instead of, when you're feeling discomfort, avoiding it, taking a small step, any small step, because what that does, that breaks you out the state of mind that you're in and moves you into momentum. And once you start getting momentum, it gives you confidence, and you can start taking bigger actions and start taking on more and more of the work that you're avoiding. So we followed that with the small group exercise, first small step challenge, which is identifying an area where each person was avoiding, and then trying to come up with the smallest step that they can take, which is no more than 20 minutes to do the task. Time limited, so actually setting a time when they were going to do it, and then identifying obstacles that might come in the way and how to handle them. And then also about using other people for accountability, either a single person or a group. So the worksheet prompts were the avoided task, smallest step, when I will do it, obstacles, and how you handle them. We then followed that up with the consistency map, which is basically planning your week and deciding in advance when you're actually going to do something. Repeating it again and again. And then having a look at where resistance is going to come up, how you're going to respond, and how you're going to reward yourself. We then discussed accountability, how avoidance thrives in secrecy, where accountability, when you're working one-to-one or in a small group, that extra layer of having someone aware of what you're doing, what you're trying to achieve, where you're struggling, can help check in with you to make sure that you stay focused. So there were some notes on this with references. As I said, the presentation on a Monday will be relatively short today, mostly because if you go to the blog, you'll see Module 3, Leaning into Action, on additional notes, audio and transcript. And when you click on that, it will bring up this, and you will see the audio recording, 49 minutes. It wasn't all continuous 49 minutes. What happened is I recorded each part and then I stitched it all together and did it as a single episode. And then there's a transcript below. So this is pretty much a verbatim transcript of the actual session. So rather than repeating everything right now in the YouTube presentation, it'll be a lot more beneficial to hear what was actually recorded there and what we actually covered. And when you go down to the bottom, as I say, it is a complete transcript of the whole session there. It gives you a sort of a summary of what we covered in the actual workshop, as well as references and research for further reading. So let me just check the final notes on this. So yeah, I've shared that. So the way that it's working, Saturday is the in-person workshop. Monday was meant to be a repeat of the presentation, but it's very difficult to repeat the same information because of the impact we have in the workshop. So The only thing I say is if you're working on anything, try and find a small group or one-to-one to actually work with. It makes so much difference than just trying to work through yourself. You'd be surprised where avoidance can turn up even when you know things are going to actually benefit you. I share the information here more as a way to invite you into a space and into a conversation where you actually get some benefit. If you go onto the website, onto the blog, you'll also find an archive of previous articles. The 4-week coaching program outline is on there as well. That has the initial information on why I chose avoidance as a topic. Further down, there's another, it's sort of a summaried book. You'll find it's called Breaking Inertia. So avoidance and breaking inertia is very similar, because what we're actually doing when we're running the avoidance program is we're breaking the inertia of the path that we're on to try and put us on the path that's actually going to benefit us. So there's quite a few chapters on there that complement all this, and a lot of the stuff is all very similar. The more you learn about yourself, the more you learn about how you find time, energy, and for the things that are important for you, the more you can take on. So yep, I'm going to keep it short, 10-12 minutes here. I'll keep on posting more information. We have a WhatsApp group, we have a WhatsApp community that's more active. I generally tend to keep things in small groups. I'm not looking for hundreds and thousands of people watching these videos. It's more to support people who actually really want to make impact and make changes in their life. So thank you again. Hopefully on Wednesdays we have the Zoom session. You're welcome to join if you've got any questions. That gives you an opportunity to work on this stuff along with others. All right, take care, and I will catch up with you again for the next session.